From the outside, Japan appears to be a country of order, trust, and discipline. But behind this flawless facade lie dark truths that no one speaks of aloud. 1. The lust of the streets. Women who become drunks and homeless. One of the most shocking sights you may encounter at night in Japan's major cities, especially crowded areas like Tokyo, Osaka, and Yokohama, is women sleeping on the streets. However, these women are not always homeless. Some have not simply chosen to stay on the streets. Some are in a state of near-alcoholic coma, unconscious, sleeping on benches, sidewalks, or station entrances. These women, too drunk to stand late at night, are targeted by organized crime groups and street harassers. Some are forced or tricked into the temporary prostitution system. It is known that underground prostitution networks watch for unconscious women on the streets, especially in areas such as Shinjuku, Kabukicho, and Ueno. Statistics in Japan do not directly record these cases, as most incidents are not reported. However, according to a 2019 study by a local aid organization, an average of 15 to 30 women per night are found unconscious or semi-conscious on the streets of central Tokyo. Some of these women wake up in the morning with no memory of the night before, while others discover that their phones, wallets, or underwear have been stolen. 2. Silent screams. Suicide, bullying, and the pressure system in Japanese schools. In Japan, students face serious exam pressure even in elementary school. Families send their children to cram schools, juku, before school in the morning to prepare for these exams, and fill their evenings with extra lessons. Many students spend 60 to 70 hours a week just on school and studying. Sleep time decreases, social life disappears, and the concept of childhood vanishes. In 2022, 514 young people committed suicide. This number is not just a statistic, it is a tragedy that reveals the emotional toll of the system. Psychological support in schools is almost non-existent. Asking for help is considered a sign of weakness. Students learn not to make mistakes, not to succeed. They are constantly measured, compared, evaluated, but almost never listened to. In many schools, students are required to have black hair. Even students with naturally brown hair are asked to dye their hair black. In a 2020 lawsuit in Tokyo on this issue, a student who faced pressure because of their natural hair color launched a legal battle against the school. In some schools, eyebrow plucking, using a nail file after cutting nails, or even having socks that are shorter or longer than the standard length are grounds for disciplinary action. Female students cannot be exempted from physical education classes unless they prove they are menstruating. In some schools, even the color of underwear must be white, and this is enforceable. While the stated purpose of these rules is to maintain discipline, in reality, they suppress students' individual identities, standardize them, and force them into obedience. 3. Beyond the poison. The nightmare of Paraquat from vending machines. In 1985, drinks purchased from vending machines located in various cities in Japan, particularly in suburban train stations, began causing people to suddenly become poisoned and die. The first victim died in Osaka on April 30, 1985. Cases soon followed one after another. People were buying ordinary familiar beverage brands, but within a few hours, they were showing symptoms of weakness, convulsions, and organ failure. When the incident was investigated, it was discovered that these drinks had been laced with highly lethal paraquat or diquat. These were toxic chemicals normally used in agriculture. According to official data, 13 people died and 35 were hospitalized. However, some experts say this number is incomplete and that the death toll could be over 20 when unreported cases are included. The perpetrator or perpetrators were never found. Police determined that the drinks left in the vending machines were usually designed to look like campaign or promotional bottles, and that the poison was injected into the drinks with a syringe. Since the vending machines were located in public areas, it was quite easy for the perpetrator to conceal their identity. These poisoning incidents created deep distrust among the Japanese public. People became reluctant to use vending machines for a while. This incident gave rise to a new type of fear in Japan, meaning the terrorization of everyday items. 4. Surveillance tent, the secret killer of hidden cameras in Japanese hotels. In a growing number of incidents in recent years, hidden cameras have been found in guest rooms. These devices were mostly placed inside electrical outlets, smoke detectors, television units, and even behind bathroom mirrors. The purpose was clear: to secretly record and sell or share these images online. In 2020, an employee at a love hotel in Osaka was arrested for installing hidden cameras in hotel rooms. The devices were hidden inside smoke detectors mounted on the ceiling. Hundreds of hours of recordings fell into the hands of the police. Traces were found that some of the videos had been published on illegal websites. That same year, an Airbnb guest in Tokyo discovered a device in her room that looked like a USB charger but was actually a camera. The device was active and recorded when it detected movement. What was even more chilling happened in 2023. A young female traveler in Tokyo noticed a foul odor in her hotel room. When she checked under the bed, she saw a man hiding there. The man fled, but among the items he left behind were recording devices and batteries. This incident went viral on social media, prompting many people to share similar experiences from their own stays. 5. Babies left in lockers. Tokyo's coin locker drama. In Tokyo, one of Japan's most populous cities, a dark reality existed from the 1980s to the 1990s. Newborn babies were being abandoned in locked lockers, coin lockers, at train stations. These incidents rarely made public headlines because silence stemmed from both family pressure and social shame. Women often concealed their pregnancies to hide the birth, and when they realized they couldn't care for their babies after delivery, they placed them in station lockers and abandoned them. Most of the babies died from suffocation or drowning. Between 1980 and 1989, there were 191 recorded cases of coin locker babies in Tokyo and its surrounding areas alone. Even without counting unreported cases, this number highlights the seriousness of the situation. Back then, the media even had a cold term for these incidents: locker baby. Some mothers left notes with the babies, saying things like, "Let someone better raise him," which made the tragedy even more striking.
6. 20 cm surgical précision. The dismembered body in Inokashira Park.
On the morning of April 23, 1994, black bags carefully placed in trash cans were found in Inokashira Park, one of Tokyo's quiet and peaceful areas. When opened, the bags contained 27 human body parts. Each piece was approximately 20 centimeters long and had been cut with medical precision. There was almost no blood at the cut sites, indicating that all the blood had been drained from the body before it was dismembered and then meticulously washed. The police determined that the parts belonged to a man. However, his identity could not be fully established at the time due to limited DNA records. There were no clues about the suspect. There were no eyewitnesses. Security camera recordings did not have sufficient infrastructure at the time. Therefore, the incident quickly faded from public attention, but the investigation continued for years. What was interesting was that the pieces had been carefully placed in the trash cans in a symmetrical manner. Was the perpetrator sending a message? Or was this a ritual? Such cases, rare in Japan, showed that the crime had not only a physical but also a psychological dimension. 7. The Yakuza influence on prostitution. Although prostitution is officially banned in Japan, numerous systematic activities carried out through legal loopholes and gray areas show that this sector is largely under the control of the Yakuza. Services operating under names such as Hostess Club and Delivery Health may appear legal on the surface, but are managed by organized crime groups behind the scenes. These structures do not only offer sex, they also open the door to serious crimes such as blackmail, debt collection, threats, and human trafficking. Yakuza groups mostly target young women in economic distress. Women first start working as hostesses in bars or entertainment venues, then are indebted or threatened with compromising images and forced into prostitution. In Japan, it is estimated that the annual turnover of Yakuza-linked prostitution activities in Tokyo's Kabukicho district alone reaches millions of dollars. In some cases, women's attempts to escape are suppressed with threats, and sometimes their disappearances are even orchestrated. This system is so entrenched that some bar owners are forced to pay protection money to specific Yakuza groups. 8. Police and Yakuza, a bribery alliance or loyalty in the shadows. The relationship between the police and the Yakuza in Japan has long existed in a gray area. It is known that during the period between 1970 and 2000, the Yakuza established secret collaborations with the police under the pretext of maintaining order. Some police officers drank for free at Yakuza bars and turned a blind eye in exchange for information. In an incident in Fukuoka in the 1990s, it was revealed that a police officer regularly passed information to a Yakuza leader and received cash and gifts in return. However, this was not punished. Raids on rival gangs based on intelligence from the Yakuza meant that the law, under the guise of fighting crime, was actually paving the way for crime. Although such ties appear to have weakened today, there is still concern in Japanese public opinion that the line between the police and the Yakuza is not clear. It was a system where true justice was lost in the shadows.
9. Der echte Journalist, Geheime Wahrheiten, Jake Adelsteins Enthüllungen über die Yakuza. Jake Adelstein ist der erste ausländische Journalist, der die dunklen Netzwerke der Yakuza in Japan aufgedeckt hat. Während seiner Tätigkeit bei der Yomiuri Shimbun deckte er die Verbindungen zwischen der Yakuza und der Polizei, ihre Methoden der Geldwäsche und den Druck auf die Medien auf. Seine spektakulärste Enthüllung war, dass ein Yakuza-Boss heimlich in den USA eine Lebertransplantation vornehmen ließ. Japanische Behörden waren an diesem Vorgang beteiligt. Er dokumentierte diese Verbindungen in seinem Buch Tokio Weiß, erhielt dafür jedoch Morddrohungen und lebte lange Zeit unter Polizeischutz. Adelstein wagte sich in Bereiche vor, die die japanischen Medien nicht zu betreten wagten, und wurde zur Stimme der unverschwiegenen Wahrheit. Seine Enthüllungen waren nicht nur ein journalistischer Erfolg, sondern auch eine Herausforderung für die größten kriminellen Organisationen Japans.
10. Rise and Fall, the New Generation Crime Network Tokuryu and the Decline of the Yakuza. Traditional Yakuza gangs were symbols of power in the 20th century. In the 1960s, they had approximately 180,000 active members. However, over the years, they were worn down by both state pressure and social exclusion. As of 2024, that number has fallen to only about 18,800. This dramatic decline is not just a number, it signifies the end of an era. Tokuryu. Tokuryu are not tattooed, ritualistic structures like the classic Yakuza. They are criminal cells organized online, meeting on platforms like Telegram and Discord, often consisting of young people who have never met each other. An incident that took place in Tokyo's Ginza district in May 2023 revealed Tokuryu's modus operandi. A group of young people raided a store selling luxury watches. A total of 74 watches, worth approximately 300 million yen, were stolen. The entire operation lasted 4 minutes. The subsequent investigation revealed that the suspects had never met face-to-face, planning the heist solely through digital platforms. As the Yakuza declines, Tokuryu rises. Tokuryu's untraceable digital strategies are replacing the Yakuza's former power of physical dominance. Criminal structures, once suppressed by the state and society using traditional methods, are now becoming invisible. 11. Fake banks, real fraud, foreign card networks. One of the digital crimes on the rise in Japan in recent years is bank and card fraud carried out by Vietnamese and Chinese organized groups. These networks open accounts in Japanese banks using fake identities, then use these accounts for money laundering, fraud, and tax evasion. According to police data, in some cases, over 100 million yen is injected into the system using fake POS devices and underground banking systems and quickly transferred abroad. Accounts are typically opened in the names of migrant workers, who are then threatened and coerced into compliance. The system is so professional that everything appears legal, but behind the scenes, Japan's financial infrastructure is being quietly undermined. These crimes target not only money but also the sense of security. 12. Pokémon cards. From children's toys to criminal property. In Japan, Pokémon cards are no longer just collectibles, but targets. As the value of rare cards reached millions of yen, criminal organizations, including the Yakuza, turned their attention to this market. In 2023, 25 cards worth approximately 250,000 yen were stolen from a store in Tokyo. The perpetrator had Yakuza connections. The cards were put up for sale online within a few days. For criminal organizations, these cards have become an ideal product, easy to transport, leaving no trace, and quickly convertible to cash. Even children's toys are no longer safe in Japan.